Part 1. They call these traits toxic, dangerous, unhealthy, yet these are the same traits that quietly pull attention, desire, and respect. Not because women are confused, but because attraction follows biology, not ideology. Stay with me. This will make many people uncomfortable. Intro. The uncomfortable truth. There is what people say they want, and there is what their nervous system responds to. Most men are trained to listen to words. Smart men study behavior. This video is not about being cruel. It is not about being abusive. It is not about hurting women. It is about traits labeled toxic because they cannot be controlled by social rules. Traits that signal strength, boundaries, self-direction. Traits that trigger attraction quietly, even when they are publicly condemned. Let's begin. Trait 1, emotional self-containment. They call it emotional unavailability. They shame it. They warn against it. But here is the truth. Women do not want a man who is emotionally absent. They want a man who is emotionally self-contained, a man who does not leak anxiety, who does not overshare, who does not emotionally collapse under pressure. He feels deeply, but he does not dump his emotions onto her. This creates safety because a woman does not want to become her man's emotional caretaker. She wants to feel held, not burdened. A man who regulates himself signals leadership, calm under stress, steady under chaos. That is not toxic, that is grounding. Trait 2, the willingness to disappoint. They say, be agreeable, keep everyone happy, don't upset her. Weak advice. A man who is afraid to disappoint has no backbone, and women feel that instantly. Men who women respect are willing to say no, willing to hold their position, willing to let someone be upset. Not out of cruelty, out of self-respect. This trait is labeled selfish, mein Hound, but it creates attraction because it signals, I have a life, I have standards, I will not abandon myself to please you. Paradoxically, this makes women feel safe, because a man who can say no can also say yes with intention. Trait 3, controlled dominance. The word dominance scares people, so they pretend it doesn't exist, but biology didn't get the memo. Controlled dominance is not aggression, it is direction. It is deciding where to eat without asking 5 times. It is leading calmly without raising your voice. It is touching with certainty, speaking with clarity, moving with purpose. This trait is called toxic masculinity, yet it triggers attraction because it removes confusion. Women are drawn to men who know where they are going, not dictators, leaders. Trait 4, selective attention, not overinvesting. They say, text back immediately, always be available, make her the center of your world. That advice kills attraction. Men women desire do not orbit. They have missions, responsibilities, focus beyond romance. This is called emotional distance, but in reality, it is selective investment. A man who does not overinvest early communicates value. He is choosing, not clinging. This creates tension, mystery, desire, not because he is playing games, but because he has a full life. Trait 5, boundaries that do not negotiate. This one is hated. A man who enforces boundaries is labeled controlling. But here's the difference. Control tells others what to do. Boundaries tell others what you will tolerate. Men women respect do not argue their boundaries. They state them once, then they act accordingly. No lectures, no begging, no emotional theatrics. This signals strength, because a man who protects his boundaries can protect a relationship. A hard truth. At this point, some men feel anger, others feel relief. Good. That tension means something important is being exposed. Attraction is not moral, it is biological, and men who understand this stop performing and start embodying. Trait 6, the ability to walk away. This trait is called cold, heartless, uncaring. It is none of those things. It is self-respect. A man who can walk away from disrespect, manipulation, or chaos is not cruel. He is disciplined. Women may test this unconsciously, not to hurt him, but to see if he is solid. A man who stays at all costs signals fear of loss. A man who can leave signals abundance. And abundance is magnetic. Why these traits are called toxic? Because they cannot be exploited. They resist manipulation, they reject emotional chaos, they demand accountability, weak systems, hate strong boundaries. So they shame these traits, they rename them, they moralize them. But attraction does not listen to lectures, it responds to presence. So far, we've covered 6 traits. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice something. None of them are about being cruel or arrogant or abusive. They are about self-mastery. In part 2, we'll cover the final 2 traits, the most controversial ones, traits that separate forgettable men from unforgettable ones. If this hit a nerve, good. Subscribe. This channel is not for comfort, it's for clarity. Like the video if you prefer truth over applause. Part 2, the last 2 toxic traits, the ones no one says out loud. If you're still here, you already understand something most men don't. Attraction is not built on approval. It's built on presence, polarity, and self-respect. In part 1, we expose 6 traits men are shamed for, yet quietly rewarded for embodying. Now we move into the final 2. These are the traits people fight hardest against, because they strip away illusions, and once you see them, you cannot unsee them. Pause. Breathe. Let's continue. Trait 7, a controlled edge, the capacity for aggression. This one makes people uncomfortable, so they pretend it doesn't exist. They say, be harmless, be soft, never intimidate. That advice creates weak men. Here's the truth. Women are not attracted to harmless men. They're attracted to men who are capable of force and choose restraint. There is a difference. A man who has no edge is not safe. He is fragile. A man with a controlled edge signals protection. He doesn't rage, he doesn't threaten, he doesn't posture. But there is weight behind him. You can feel it in the way he stands, the way he looks, the way he goes quiet instead of loud. This is called toxic aggression by society. But biologically, it signals competence under danger. Women do not want chaos, but they want to know, if pressure comes, can this man handle it? A man with no edge cannot. A man with a disciplined edge doesn't need to prove it, and that's what makes it attractive. Why this trait is misunderstood. Because most men confuse aggression with violence. Aggression is energy. Violence is loss of control. A dangerous man is not violent. He is regulated. He lifts heavy things. He trains his body. He hardens his mind, not to dominate women, but to dominate himself. And that self-mastery shows. Trait 8, prioritizing his purpose over her comfort. This is the most toxic one of all. Men are told, put her first. Happy wife, happy life. Sacrifice everything for love. That advice creates resentment. Women are not attracted to men who abandon their purpose. They are attracted to men who invite them into it. A man with purpose does not rearrange his life to maintain emotional peace. He does not negotiate his mission. He does not shrink to avoid conflict. This is labeled ego, selfishness, narcissism. But it signals something powerful. This man has direction, momentum, a spine. Women don't want to be a man's purpose. They want to join a man who has one, because purpose creates gravity, and gravity creates attraction. The harsh reality. A man who makes a woman the center of his universe eventually suffocates her. A man who centers his mission creates space, and space is where desire breathes. The pattern you should notice. Let's step back. All 8 toxic traits share something. They are not about mistreating women. They are about not abandoning yourself. Emotional self-containment, willingness to disappoint, calm dominance, selective investment, non-negotiable boundaries, ability to walk away, controlled edge, purpose over comfort. None of these are abusive. They are non-reactive, and non-reactive men are rare. Why women can't openly admit this? Because attraction is politically incorrect. It doesn't align with slogans. It doesn't obey social programming. So women describe what sounds good, but respond to what feels right, not consciously, nervously. This isn't manipulation, it's biology. And men who understand this stop asking for permission to be themselves. The danger of misusing this knowledge. Now listen carefully. These traits are not costumes. They are not tactics. They are not game. If you fake them, you become brittle. If you use them to control, you become toxic for real. The point is not dominance over women. The point is dominance over yourself. Everything else follows. What happens when a man embodies these traits? He stops chasing. He stops over-explaining. He stops negotiating attraction. He becomes grounded. Women don't feel pressured around him. They feel curious. They don't feel managed. They feel led. They don't feel smothered. They feel space. And space creates polarity. The final Stoic truth. The most attractive men are not trying to be attractive. They are disciplined, purpose-driven, self-contained. They can disappoint without guilt, leave without drama, stand firm without noise, and because of that, they are respected, desired, remembered, quietly. If this series gave you clarity, don't let it fade. Subscribe. This channel is for men who choose self-mastery over approval. Like the video if you value truth over comfort. And comment below one word, disciplined. Because attraction isn't about being nice, it's about being solid, and solid men are rare.